Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Interlocking Loops Flosstube. It's January 26th, 2020. Well, let's get started. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm Interlocking Loops, and I try to post a lot of the finished projects over there as I have time. So that'd be great. If you want to hear more about my projects and my crafting, for these videos and to be alerted when they arrive at your inbox, just click the subscribe button down below, and that'd be great. All right, on with the show. Well, I don't know how things have been with you, but I live in the Midwest and we've had our fair share of freezing drizzle, freezing rain, and more snow. It's been super cold. Recently, we just started having a little bit warmer weather, going from about 20 degrees during the day, maybe down into the low 20s, and now we're starting to creep up toward 30, 31, 32 degrees, and that's been strangely feeling warm after some of the days where it was really cold, about when we had about 6 degrees above zero for a high. So I have been able to do some crafting, not all of it cross stitch, but part of it is, and let's go talk about the things I finished. All right. If you've been with me for a while, you know I started working on Heart and Hand Square Dance patterns last year. They have a set. They have one for each month. And I finished the February one last year, and I finished the January one. And I did have a little bit of trouble with this one. Part of the snowmen have eyes that are French knots. And I had trouble feeling like those were too big for the snowman. It seemed slightly out of proportion. So I eliminated some of those. So that was stitched on 16 count Aida, coffee tea dyed. Part of those have fancy floss, and part of them are DMC. If you want to know specifics about exact colors, I do have a blog, www.interlockingloops.com. It's not a fancy blog, but it does have the nitty-gritty on each one of these projects. The other thing that I have finished, which I know you guys have been watching, I have been, it still looks like wintertime outside, so I have been stitching still winter. And I had several patterns of Brenda Gervais that I wanted to finish, or at least I wanted to work on this winter season. Jolly Happy Soul is one of those. It's got Frosty the Snowman. I don't know how well you can kind of see that, but oh, I just love that. 16 count coffee tea dyed Aida cloth. I dyed the cloth myself. The exact fancy floss colors and DMC colors are also on my blog. But I finished that now. I did make some changes in what I did. It actually has a few cardinals on here, and if you're stitching on linen, you can do kind of 1/1 versus Aida. It's a little bit harder to do something so small, so I just eliminated those, and I don't really think I lost anything in doing so. But she has beautiful patterns. So let's talk a little bit about what else I've been up to. I have dyed some more fabric. It's some more 16 count Aida. Coffee tea dyed in a crock pot that I have just for this specific purpose, and then I heat set it in the oven. Kind of gives a bit of a mottled look, and I did do that. It started out as Aida color. I also have a few acquisitions, so I have some vintage cloth from the Fat Quarter Shop. This is 10 count. It's a black, and I think this other one's buttermilk. It's kind of an ivory. It looks white, but it's more ivory. And I bought some Laird Holt stitch cards in winter theme. I thought these might make good ornaments. The little stocking cap, how cute is that? The ice skate, mug of hot cocoa, which is my absolute favorite beverage of choice. And here's a bigger picture of that hot cocoa, as a matter of fact. So I think these will look nice. on this bigger cloth. And if this works out well, I may have a gift in mind for a young crafter for next Christmas. So I also purchased a little bit of Further Ada fabric. This is Graceful Gray, 16 count. It's a light gray. And this one is White Chocolate. I bought both of these from Fat Quarter Shop as well. It's kind of a slightly darker ivory. Now most of you probably know Lizzie Kate has a freebie on her blog for Valentine's Day, so if you like stitching Valentines, go check Lizzie Kate's blog out for theirs. I won't show it today, but I do have that downloaded. What else is new? Let's see here. I did get for Christmas one of the Fat Quarter Shop stitch journals, and I'm wanting to kind of keep some things organized. I love organizing things. I just can't seem to keep it organized very long. I now have the last two by Plum Street Samplers, the salt boxes. I am still stitching one of the spring ones. I look over to the side because that's where the project bag is. It's holding that particular project. I am stitching the spring. I bought the fall. I'm trying to get it out of the plastic. It's not wanting to come very easily. And then I just purchased the winter salt boxes by Plum Street Sampler. Oh, another gorgeous house that's in red. And the summer salt boxes. My favorite one of this as well happens to be the one with the sheep in it. Had horses when I was a kid, but I like the sheep now. And I could vary those to look a little more colored for my natural colored sheep that I have. So those are new. I have the full set of those now, all 4 of those. You heard me talk about the square dance patterns. I did buy the last 3. And while I'm not too sure about all the designs, I just love the December with the ornaments. So that's by Heart and Hand. And those will be nice patterns to maybe do for Stitch Mania because they're fairly fast. Let's see, I also bought Sue Hillis Designs a leaflet on a few different things, including some candy. There's Noel. There's different peppermints and that ribbon candy to maybe make an ornament. Let's see, and the last one is by Erica Michaels, Mistletoe Kisses. How well you can kind of see that, but she's got some really pretty stuff. And while you're placing an order on 123 Stitch, you might as well buy, yes, a little more Christmassy stuff. That's really my favorite. Christmas winter is the favorite time of year that I like to do stitching. It's hard for me to stitch out of season though. But I would say some of the other things I've recently purchased or was gifted have to do with Valentine's Day. I have the Heart and Hand Collector Series 2019 with my whole heart for my whole life. And I have it kitted up. I'll be stitching that on 16 count Ada. I also have Little House Needleworks all dolled up. Chocolate box. I have it kitted up with its Flosstube. I don't know, can you see that? When I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, we had some stamps that looked just like some of this candy. And I probably still have those if I dug around long enough downstairs. So I'm not sure which one of these I will be working on next. But I'm excited about some of those. I have a Collector Series 2017 by Heart and Hand. Grow Old, Along With Me, The Best Is Yet to Be. And a lot of these are kitted up with just DMC. I got, I think, a big part of these from Fat Quarter Shop. They have a pretty good selection of patterns. Let's see, I have a couple Lizzie Kates I'm excited about. Be Mine Valentine. It's one of the snippets. Yes, I won't get half of these probably stitched this year, but Valentine's on my mind. So, all right. So those are a little bit about what I've been working on. Let's talk about different crafts. Those of you that have been with me before know that I really enjoy lots of different things. I knit quite a bit of the time. And I've been working on a pair of socks. The yarn is from Stray Cat Socks. And I assume she still does dye sock yarn. I bought this a couple of years ago. It's in the Candy Cane Twist colorway. I knit them from the top down. Can you see? This has also got me in the mood for Valentine's. So, I love those. I'm going to have to be careful and make sure the water's cold, and maybe with a color catcher in when I hand wash these, because I'm kind of afraid this dark pink might bleed a little bit onto the white, but boy, these are pretty. So I have one sock done, one to go. I've also been working on a hat. I bought a new coat this year, and I'm working on a hat to match. It's in a worsted weight, and that's 2/3 of the way done, I would say. A nice kind of eggplanty purple. This actual pattern is one that I've knit several times before, the Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits, from the Simple Collection by Tin Can Knits, and their website www.tincannknits.com. What I like about them is they have the sizing of their hats. For example, this hat pattern goes from baby all the way to an adult large. Fits head circumference 16 inches all the way to 23 inches, which is really nice. I appreciate that they do that. A lot of designers don't do that. So let's talk about things I was gifted for Christmas for just a little bit. As you know, I've talked before about I have a lot of plans. I get distracted a lot. But I think I'd like to do more of the quilting things. And Maywood Studios, I have the 10-inch blocks from Fat Quarter Shop. Let's see, what is this one? We Wish You a Merry Christmas is the fabric design theme. I have some of those to make a quilt. I also have Vintage Holiday Flannel by Bonnie and Camille. It's by Moda, and this is all flannel. And I think this will be a nice, more rag quilt type things. I have another Moda, a jelly roll, To Be Jolly. It's kind of hard to tell what colors are in there, but there's Christmassy, there's a little bit of aqua, a little bit of navy, candy canes, which I've seen the string quilt patterns and some of those kind of things on YouTube videos. And I think it's the Missouri Star Quilt Company has some of those videos out, and I may want to check and see about that. I was gifted a Diamond Dots kit for Christmas. And this one has kittens on it. Now, for those of you that have been with me before, in the past I've had a little bit of issues with our newest kitten helping me, trying to grab my feet when I'm working on this. That's Pumpkin. I just put up a picture on Instagram of him. He's 6 months old, and he just passed 6 months old. And he still's getting into a fair share of things, but he's grown quite a bit. And as I look around, I don't exactly see him, but he's around here somewhere. He does, like, you know, I do a lot of stuff with string, and whether it's the knitting, the crochet, or the cross stitch, he loves it all. So I did make a purchase, and I may have talked a little bit about this last time, For those of you that are knitters, Webs, America's Yarn Store, also yarn.com, had a holiday gift guide that was sent out, and one of the patterns in there I just couldn't stop thinking about. Typically, a lot of times I don't see a ton of patterns that I really am in love with, but this one I really liked. So I went ahead and purchased the Sea-Cross pattern and sweater kit from the Fiber Company. It was a PDF download from yarn.com, and it's in these same colors. So this beautiful blue, this color work in here. Oh, I just love that. So this may be something, that may be something closer to the fall that I start, but I just loved it, and I wanted to get that before the chance was gone. So the last thing that I have been working on, not exactly saving the best for last, but I found what happened to pop up on my YouTube feed is it's called a grocery bag tutorial by Tia Curtis on her Tia Curtis channel. She has a website, tiacurtisquilts.com. I say that because I went ahead and made one of the grocery bags. Now, I don't know that groceries will actually end up being stored in here, but it's some home deck fabric and some heavyweight twill for the handles, and I just thought it was the cutest thing. And if things work out well, I can say this, my daughter, she does not watch these videos, but I plan on making her and her roommates in the apartment, her sorority sisters, each a bag. My daughter studies environmental science. You know, we're trying to get away from the plastics. They're not good for the environment. It's food oriented. I hope to get a bunch of these made for Valentine's. So I may not get as much Valentine stitching as I'd hoped, but I may get some other sewing done. And her tutorial, I am a fairly beginner person on sewing, so it needs to be very well explanatory for me to get all the details and make it. I did make it, and I'm really pretty happy with how I did. These may end up just storing more projects in them, but you know what the heck, that's okay. I try to always do one for me to see what the glitches are in the pattern, what things I need to do differently, and so I was able to do that with this one. And I have the fabric cut out, and I have part of the sewing already done. The fabric I found at Hobby Lobby. Our current Hobby Lobby is kind of a smaller version of the usual Hobby Lobby, and they're currently clearancing out about 50% of the home deck fabrics, and they're wanting to expand the space they have for the regular fabric so people can get through that area better with the carts. And it just happens to be, you know, it's a win-win situation for me because I'd rather get it at a discount and get it on sale anyway. So I'm excited to do those. So I encourage you, if you think this is anything, like you may even want to store some of your projects of whatever crafts you do, check out the Tia Crafts channel, the grocery bag tutorial. So exciting. So I don't know which thing I'm going to start next. I do know I have more sewing in my future. Here on the farm, let's see, we started having lambs. We have 4 lambs so far. 3 boys and a girl from 2 different moms. They're doing pretty well. I think the one little boy was stepped on by his mom the day he was born, so he's still limping on one leg. We've got it bandaged up. So hopefully I can tell you on the next Flosstube, if I remember, give you an update and tell you that he's probably doing just fine. We put ear tags in today, but they're doing well. One of them was born when it was so cold. At least at that time, I was able to be home, and I had at least 3 heat lamps. They're the safer kind with the plastic cages around them, so it's less likely to catch anything on fire, but trying to keep them as warm as possible. You know, they can, these little ones, as soon as they get cold, they don't want to eat. So that's it for this episode. Like I said, if you want to hear more about what I'm up to, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye-bye.